Welcome to a new video, guys. I'm FinnSnow and I've been traveling around the Philippines for the past 2 years. And one of the most frequent asked questions is, how do you travel Balabac? And in this video, we're gonna go in detail how to go there. A brief introduction about Balabac in case you don't know that area. It's a group of 25 islands known as the last frontier of the Philippines, the furthest landmass known in the country, so far away that it's never reached any tourism potential like it deserves. And especially for the locals and their way of living. When I was there, I spoke to many locals during my week trip in 2018, and everyone that I spoke to told me they are hoping more tourists will come and enjoy these spectacular islands, and more importantly, to end the illegal fishing practices that still occur in the area, because for many that is their only option for surviving due to overfishing. One of the reasons why this area was closed until July 2017 is that it used to be a popular smuggling route between Malaysia, Balabac, Puerto, and all the way to Manila. On my last expedition with Tao, I even got to interview a former pirate that used to go around those channels. He even got into a fight with the government and lost a lot of his friends on the ocean. But all of that happened 20 plus years ago. Now the main safety concern is only going to be crocodiles in the area. And that one is only on the main island where you're gonna stay most of the time. And this is something I'll be talking about in detail within the guide. Now just before we start the video, I want to announce the 2 winners, and only 2 winners that got the correct top 3 out of my top 10 last video. If you've not seen that video, the link is up here. If you click it, it's gonna be the next video played on your device. It's one of the best videos that I've ever done, so I highly recommend go check it out, especially if you want to see my personal opinion on the top 10 places in the Philippines. Now I didn't expect it to be this hard to guess the top 3 from that list. Like I said, only 2 people got it right. It was Glenn Munoz and Sherlyn Delorial. I think I've heard that name before. So congratulations to you guys. Glenn sent me an email and I will give you a link to the guide. Also, another super cool thing I gotta mention is that I got featured in the New York Times travel show, which is the biggest travel show in the USA. So I'm super proud and honored to be representing Philippines on that show.
The Philippines is also now a travel vlogger's paradise. The digital age has given the Philippine Department of Tourism a huge free advertising boost.
Thank you so much for that. And without further ado, let's get into the video, how to get to Balabac and where to go, because the group of islands is 25. So you gotta make sure before you go which island you want to go visit. Now if you finish your journey around northern part of Palawan, you can go from Puerto Princesa down south. But if you're not in Palawan, you have to take a flight from Cebu or Manila to Puerto Princesa. From Puerto Princesa, you take a minivan down south, and that is the only option to the mining town of Rio Tuba. Most likely you're gonna stay overnight there to catch the ferry the day after, because there's only one ferry a day. Rio Tuba is a mining town, and in the Philippines there have been some cases of conflicts in those types of area. So we will go over that in detail in the guide also. Most likely you're gonna take the ferry the day after you arrive in Rio Tuba. Keep in mind also, the Coast Guard might cancel the trip due to bad weather. Once you arrive in Balabac town, you have to find an overnight stay because you cannot go immediately and explore the islands. The channel is 4 hours, and then it usually takes 1 or 2 hours from Balabac town to visit a paradise island. Sleep overnight, and early in the morning you should head out to your first destination. Personally, I visited I think 10 islands during my trip, and I'm gonna give you a complete recommendation which ones are the best in my opinion. Now bear in mind, it's gonna take 1 or 2 hours to go to each location, and then maybe it's usually 30 to 40 minute boat ride between the next ones. And after a long day, you have to sail back to Balabac, which is usually 2-3 hours. So you're gonna spend a lot of time on the ocean. 4 hours later, I can barely feel my ass right now. And I'm gonna give you also some tips and tricks how to stay fit, how to rest during this trip, because it can be really exhausting staying on the ocean and then exploring during the daytime. And out of the 10 islands, here are a few of some of the epic ones. Patawan Island, with one of the finest sands I've ever touched in my life. And actually, all of the Balabac Islands are super powdery fine sands. And here's another one, Patongong, with one of the largest coconut trees I've seen in the Philippines. And of course, the Onog Island, one of the highlights of the trip. If you go to Balabac, you gotta go visit that one. And by the way, Onog is a privately owned island with a high entrance fee. I think it's 1,500 pesos or $30 US. And if you want to stay overnight there, it's 3,500 per person or 70 bucks. But if you stay overnight, they will provide food, accommodation, of course, aircon. And talking about the food, it's amazing. They provided dinner. I think we had crabs, fishes, chicken adobo, and it was one of the best seafood that I've ever gotten in my life. So the price might sound a little bit much, but it's 100% worth it. And of course, a spectacular island as a paradise, middle of nowhere, all to yourself. There's also a few other health risk situations you gotta keep in mind, such as mosquitoes. They're everywhere there, so wear off lotion. There have been some known diseases, and the drinking water is one of the most contaminated in the country. So don't drink any waters, always have a bottled one with you, and wear the off lotions at all times. I also have other tips in the guide, such as mosquito spray, so bring that with you, because once you enter the hotel, there might be a lot of mosquitoes inside. So you want to spray the whole room, just like I had to do, and then you wait maybe 20 minutes to settle in and all the mosquitoes are down dead. They do carry some viruses over there, so this is very important for you before you travel Balabac. And one of the most important things before you go to Balabac is to book your tour before you go and ask for the price, how much it's gonna be, because that can always be subject to change. So make sure with your guide, which I'm gonna link below, Helen, I've mentioned her before, all of her contact information, such as her Facebook, phone number, just message her and she will reply probably within a few days, because there's no connections over there, so you might get a late reply. Get a concrete number from her depending on how many islands and how long you're gonna stay there before you go south. It's of course very expensive to go there if you're on a private boat, just like I did, which was around 18,000 included with the honor gallant. So if you're a group of people, you can get it weighed down per person cost. My Balabac guide is completely free right now, but only for a limited amount of time. Go to the link in the description, which will take you to my website, where you can download the files and stream the videos. I wanted to share this guide so you can know what to expect in my complete travel guide for the Philippines. So go ahead, download it, check it out, and hopefully this information will help you make your trip down south safe and sound. Once again, thanks you guys for watching, and in the next video, it's gonna be a bombshell. Until next time, peace out.